Welcome back, everybody. I tell you what, today is an awesome, amazing day. Today, the sun is shining. We haven't had the sunshine in a good long while. Doesn't make for exactly a very good camera content for YouTube channels, but we're going to do the best we can. Today, we're going to go ahead and check up on the buckets and see how they're doing with the flow. The wind is blowing, but the sun is out. It might be flowing, and we're just gonna go and look and see how they look. So come on, let's go. Okay, so we were at our very first one that we tapped. We're gonna check it out and see what it looks like. There is nothing in there, nothing. So I don't. No, that one is, there's some frozen down at the bottom of it. You can't shake it, you can't really hear it. So we'll just move on to the next one. Now this one here, I have 2 taps on it. It's kind of wishful thinking. I usually do 1 tap on this tree, but because 1 tap, I barely even get 5 gallons out of it. I'm kind of hoping that the way the temperatures are going to be this coming week, that it's really going to start flowing good. So let's check to see what we got. I see some, you can't really tell. Can't tell, but there's some humidity in there, some bubbles to where there was some flowing at one time in this bucket right here. So let's check it. That is all frozen in there. So let's check the other one. Yeah, that one's frozen too. So let's move on. Now these up here around the house, up here in the front yard, they don't seem to do as well as the ones that are further into the woods. I don't know why, but just it is what it is. So we're going to continue on. We'll check this other big one right here that I'm right by. All right, so this one right here, I usually get about 5 to 7 gallons out of it, and it's empty. So this one I usually get about 5 to 7 gallons, like I said, out of it. It's usually a late bloomer kind of deal. So it usually starts really flowing really good around about the middle of February. Sorry if the wind is really bad. It's kind of hard not to be outside with the sun shining. We haven't had the sun shining in a good long while. So, but we're gonna check this one and see what we got. Well, we got nothing in that one. Nothing. That one's empty. So we'll move on to my favorite one. You guys saw that the other day. It's about 2 gallons in there. Let's check this one out, see what we got. Oh, this one's almost full, actually. You see that? It's about half full, so we're doing really, really good right now. There's a big sheet of ice. I don't know if you guys can tell or not on the camera. There's a big thing of ice, which is I am going to melt that down. Might be counterproductive to some that do this for a living. But I've only got, well, I have under 20 trees that I tap, so even that ice carries some sugar in it. So I want to get all I can out of it. So, all right. So we are going to go into the woods here now, and we're going to check these other ones, the ones over here by the big sugar maple. I'll show you here in a little bit. They seem to do a whole lot better than down here in the bottom, so we'll check that. this is a sugar maple. We're gonna check it out. Well, that one's got some in it. Let's see how much we got. Okay, that one's only got about a gallon in it. Hopefully you guys can see that. The sun's not very good. It's got about a gallon in it. So, get closer. Let's find out. This one has very, very, very little in it. Not very much. So if I could pick it up and move it around, it doesn't have hardly anything in it. So let's move on. Which has, we don't have very much in there. Not very much. So I picked the bucket up. There ain't very much going on there. So I'm glad I got it set in. I got them all set when I did. I looked at the temperatures. It's gonna be in the upper 40s the rest of the week. Nighttime lows down in the upper 20s to 30 degrees. So that's almost perfect ideal weather for maple syrup. It's a little bit warmer than what I want, but I'm here at home, so I'm able to concentrate on it more. So let's continue on. So let's check this tree. The way it looks, I don't know if you can tell, but that's wet right here. So it should be producing. There is some in there. Not a whole lot, but there is some in there. So it is producing. So let's keep moving on. We only got a couple more left. This is the biggest one I have on the property, and it's a giant sugar maple, huge. Most people usually log these trees out before they get this big. We were blessed enough to, the previous owners left it, and you can see the rolls on it. I showed you in the previous video. I mean, they get a lot larger than this, and they will over time. They're just huge. I mean, it's just huge. This tree's huge. I could put a lot more taps on it than what I have, but I just want to make sure it's fine. So this is what we got. We got 3 taps, as you can tell. We have 3 taps. And usually this tree, yeah, it's got about a gallon and a half in it. That's all it's got right now. About a gallon and a half. So with it being cloudy and not as warm yesterday, it's not going to produce as much. So let's continue on to the one down here in the bottom. This will be the last one. This one usually produces pretty good, usually. First time I tapped this one last year, and I thought it was just going to die, so I went ahead and tapped it, tried to get what I could out of it. This thing's a machine. It wants to survive. You know how many people have been in that situation where you do what you can to survive. You know, we were in that all year last year. So, all right, let's check this one out. All right, sorry that sun just the way it is. I'm sorry, everybody. We are here at our last tree down here in the bottom. So we're gonna give this one a shot and see what it has. I marked it with an M for maple, so that way I knew that I didn't get my trees confused. So let's check this one out. All right, so we got some ice in there. We got roughly almost a gallon and a half to 2 gallons. It's almost half full, just about half full. So the way it looks, I'm gonna have to probably switch these out. Gonna have to switch these out probably here in a couple days. Probably the weather hasn't been very good, but the weather's really gonna cooperate the next couple days. It's gonna be really good. Perfect season, I'm glad. Wife suggested that I look in the future for the temperatures, and the way it looks is gonna be perfect maple season. So I need to buckle down and get ready. I need to get my reservoir tank ready for holding all the maple syrup, so when I start cooking down I can add more, and I'll show you guys how I do that. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I'm going to show you guys how to do that, how I do it anyways, and it works out phenomenally. Is that how you say it? Phenomenally? Yeah. So I'm going up a huge hill right now, so if I fall, you're gonna see it. Ugh. Okay. All right. So that is, which as we do still have several sugar maple trees down the bottom, but I have to cross the creek, and the creek is like almost 10 foot wide, and I'm not going to go across that. I'm not going to build a bridge to go across the creek to get those. There's only like 3 or 4 of them over there, so I'm not going to do that. I've got plenty of trees around the house, enough to keep me busy. So the way my system is set up, I could cook down 5 gallons an hour. Now that equals out to 5 gallons of syrup or sap an hour. That doesn't sound like very much when you equal it out to 40 gallons of sap to 1 gallon of syrup, but it does equal out as far as time wise. So it is pretty fast. So I got my smokestack on. I'll show you that. I got it all done, and it's roughly about 2.5 to 3 foot above the building. So I can't wait to get it to smoking if it all works out the way I think it's going to.